On Halloween Day, Megadeth fans stood outside this Tower record store on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles for hours in order to meet the band and to get a copy of Megadeth's new album, Youthanasia. Ever since 1983, when Dave Mustaine was kicked out of Metallica and told to go do his own thing, his next band, Megadeth, has not looked back. After the drugs, the friction, and the reworked band lineup, Megadeth is going strong, as their fans will testify. I know you've kicked off a few tours before on Halloween. Why is that date significant to you? It's because people are weird that night? People are strange and goofy and dress up? And
I don't, to tell you the truth, I don't think it had anything to do with us. I think it was kind of a no-brainer. The record was done. This is a big release date where you can put it out, the biggest release date after you complete a record. And we were hoping to get the record out sooner, but just, you know, the process of making a record properly, it took some time for us.
It's funny that you talk about our video, Train of Consequences, going before the review board, because it seems that the restrictions are so much tighter here in Canada than they are even in the United States for censorship, which is odd. With all the traveling we do, we go to Europe and it's like you see pornography on just regular daytime TV, which is shocking to us living in America. And then coming up here, it seems like it's even more strict.
The hanging the babies out to dry and baby bashing that they consider to be perhaps not, I don't know how they would word it, but perhaps not appropriate for audiences.
I didn't make the video, I was just in it, and as far as the baby hitting the cross piece in that carriage, that even disturbs me. The baby's hanging upside down is not about Train of Consequences. That's about a song called Youthanasia. And that essentially is parents selling their kids down the river as soon as they express any sense of self, any autonomy. You know, parents get social mileage out of their children, and as soon as they say no the first time, it's this kind of stuff. And the sad part about it is that people think that we brought this problem on. It was here long before we even started recording. We just brought people's attention to it a little bit more obviously.
You're a parent now, and I know you still have a very small one who probably still listens to you when you say no and...
Are you kidding? He's almost 3.
Almost 3? Mm-hmm. Okay, so he doesn't listen to you, but...
He hears me. He doesn't necessarily always want to do what I tell him to, but, you know, there's consequences for that kind of behavior. I mean, I don't hang him upside down, you know. He has to do time out, and sometimes he gets privileges taken away from him, but it's because it's something that's right for him. I tell him the difference between right and wrong, and if he makes a decision... So, for example, we've got an enormous trampoline in our backyard. You know, we've got all kinds of children and parent toys, you know, where you can just be a kid. And when he jumps on there, you know, I tell him to be careful and stay in the middle. And if he jumps off the side and hurts himself, whose fault is that? Not mine, I told him.
If I see the morning, I'll have one more yesterday. Take life from tomorrow, 'cause I burned out my today. If I get up to the top, I know I'll just go back downhill. I've got a terminal future, and it's time to rock my world.
To me, anytime something's censored, it really makes the public want to go out and explore it.
Now I want it more.
Yeah, exactly.
Give it to me.
It's almost like the forbidden fruit, so then it makes people be even more inquisitive about it. And obviously that's been something with us. I mean, just the name Megadeth is hard to even be played on the radio on some stations in the United States because they fear that word Megadeth. And I think a lot of it is what Dave said earlier. It's like we talk about subjects that people don't really want brought to the surface. And that's, I think, what scares a lot of people about the lyrics of our songs.
What about gun control in the U.S.?
I think that it's become much more popular having a gun since rap started singing about it. I mean, it's nice to finally see an artist endorse their product, but, you know, as far as, you know, just giving children guns and stuff like that, it's, you know, I think it's crazy. I mean, when you can't get into school without going through a metal detector, that's a sad state of affairs.
Partly you let go of some of the reins of control and allowed some of the rest of the band to contribute creatively. Is that because you feel a lot safer in a sense that you don't have to be running the ship?
I think that it's just a process of opening up, and there was a period of time where, you know, I felt that I had to always be behind the wheel, because if not, we'd end up in a totally different place. And now it's like we know where we're going, all of us. Now, some of us may take a different route to get there, or route, depending on where you're from. But at least now we know where we're all going. One of these days, you know, I'm going to be able to close my eyes and know exactly where we are because we're all on the same exact path. But again, it's like this. I've told these guys that if every one of us was exactly the same, 3 of us would be unnecessary. And you know who I would say would have to go? The individuality and uniqueness of us all being our own person makes the band very combustible and very volatile, and that's part of the excitement of being in this band.
Now, it's been the same lineup since 1990. The revolving doors stopped with Rest in Peace, right? Why? Why did it stop? What made the alchemy of this particular lineup work?
It seems to me that with the first lineup change, we were trying to replace the previous members. And when it came time to do Rest in Peace, when Marty and Nick came into the band, it wasn't about replacing previous members. It was about really putting the band together for real. And it's, you know, a lot has been said about Dave's leadership style, that it's like very much like a dictatorship, you know, but being inside it's not like that. It's really been about, you know, in the beginning Dave was the one that really was doing all the writing, you know, and as this band has come together now with this lineup, everybody's contributed more and more. And it's been, you know, Dave has been able to be able to open that door a little bit more and know that we're all going to walk through it.
Living in America and traveling abroad, I see how Americans have typified themselves as being very arrogant. And if you go to other countries and you see their culture, it's very easy to see why we're not welcome in a lot of places. We come in, we think we own it, we start treating people like they're second-class citizens. And, you know, people are people, and they all deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. I mean, the #1 fruitage of the spirit is love, and I think that that's what's missing, especially in, for example, the heavy metal field. People think that it's all about hate and demagoguery and just, you know, evil and stuff like that. And we can be heavy as hell and still have compassion for our fellows and peers and contemporaries. And I think that we're kind of dispelling that myth by, you know, doing what we do. A lot of other people that play the same types of music that we do, I mean, they're in it for the chicks and the booze and you know, I mean, granted, we were in that for the same reason for a long time. But I think that we're kind of contributing a little bit more to the evolutionary chain.
A lot of our contemporaries decided that they're having this midlife crisis and they need to go back and make records that are heavier, almost to prove that they haven't lost their youthful touch. You know, for us it wasn't about going back and retreading and making the records that we'd already done. It was about, let's challenge ourselves to make a new kind of record that we've never done before.